All right. Good morning. Hey, everybody. It is bringing you on to Zoom. It brings you in chunks. It's so good to see you. Who is traveling for Christmas? Are you hosting? Tell me where you are joining from today. We've got Florida here. People are driving right now. New Jersey, New York City, Gainesville, Georgia, Texas, Washington. Hello from all over. Kennesaw, Georgia, Utah. Me too. Earbuds in at work. Yes, I love it. Hi, Kentucky, Mississippi. Oh, in Texas today, leaving for Mississippi tomorrow. Canada in the house, international Zoom here, everybody. Driving, Maine, hosting on Christmas Eve. Oh, it's so fun to see all the different places you're joining from, everybody. All right. Oh, Michigan in the house too. All right. Welcome to Ask Emily. This is something that I try to provide every month or so to answer questions for you guys, to teach you kind of the next step of what you might be hearing on the podcast, or maybe you're listening into my Take Tuesday emails if you're on my email list, or maybe this is the first time you're ever meeting me. Maybe a friend told you to come. I just want to be able to be available to answer your questions. I used to be able to answer questions by email and in Messenger, but there are just too many now. So I decided to do it in this format. So first of all, thank you for joining me. I'm so excited that you're here. And I want to show you a little bit how this call is going to work. So some of you maybe are familiar with my work and my tools from the podcast, Beyond the Rank. Maybe you've listened there a little bit or a lot. Maybe you've followed my work for several years. Maybe you've just recently found my work through a friend or a Facebook ad. Others of you might be working with me already in my coaching program called Beyond the Rank. I tend to get a variety of people on this call. And so odds are that you fit into one of those buckets. And I just want to welcome you wherever you're tuning in from. We have people, you can look in the comments. We have people that join us now from all over the world, like Canada, Australia, New Zealand, of course, the United States. And it's so fun to see you all. I am here in Draper, Utah, and I'm so happy to be here. We have a white Christmas as long as the snow doesn't melt. It's supposed to snow a little bit more this week. So of course, my kids are so thrilled and so excited. But anyway, here's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to be taking questions from the Q&A box. You'll see that on the bottom of your screen where it says Q&A. So you can type your question in there and I'll read your question there and answer it there. And I want to begin by teaching you a few things first. And what I'm going to teach you today is a tool that I use when I answer questions, which is also the tool that I use with all of my clients. And by the way, any question goes. I call this Ask Emily anything, anything, because you can ask me anything. Sometimes people will say, well, this might be inappropriate because it's kind of heavy and serious. And I'm telling you, there's nothing that's too heavy or too serious. We coach on the heaviest of things. Those of you in my Beyond the Rank community know this. There's also nothing too light or too trivial. And sometimes you'll say, I know this isn't a big deal. I shouldn't worry about this. It's kind of little. And the little stuff actually is really fascinating because it still shows us your brain. And that's the work that I do with clients that really helps them see their brains, evolve their brains, create a better life, and solve problems. So to begin with, I want to tell you that I believe that everyone should have a coach. Like everyone should have a coach, and not just any coach, a good coach that's really able to show you your brain, because it's kind of that idea that you can't read the label from inside the bottle. So even though I understand these coaching tools very well, and I've been coaching for many years, and I have a really in-depth understanding of them, I still have a coach myself. because I still can't read my own label from inside the bottle. Like I want you to picture a ketchup bottle and you're inside the ketchup bottle and they want you to read the ingredients on the outside. You can't do it because number one, it would be backwards. And number two, you wouldn't be able to read through the label. Now, I can do a lot of self-coaching, and that's what I'm going to teach you about today is how to do some work on your own. But there's always a percentage that I'm unable to see just because of my perspective, because I'm in the middle of it. Like when I need a coach and what you need a coach for. It's like the first time you watch yourself on video and you're like, I didn't realize I played with my hair that much or that I sounded like that. Like who dreads listening to themselves? I don't know about you, but in college, I took a communications class and I remember they made us videotape ourselves. And this was back in, like 2001, 2002. And so we had to they videotaped us on a VHS tape and then they gave it to us and we took it back to our dorm rooms and we had to watch ourselves speak in front of our class and like constructively criticize ourselves. And then our class watched us again and criticized us. So it was a really great opportunity. So that's what coaching does in a really, really empowering way, but way less painful. It makes it less painful, actually. So here's what we're going to do today. I'm going to teach you how to solve any problem. I'm going to teach you the main tool that I use with my clients. I'm just going to give it to you for free today, and it's going to help you and change your life forever. Like just this today is going to change your life forever. And then I'm going to be answering questions, and I'm going to take as many questions as I can fit in, and we're going to apply them to what I teach you today. And we're going to take your questions and use the tool to solve them. Some of you are here because you've been waiting for me to open up the doors to Beyond the Rank, which is my coaching program, and you want to get more help from me and you want me to be your coach. And I'm going to tell you what that's going to be about, what the program looks like. And we are opening the doors today. They're open right now. So for those of you that are interested in joining me, that is available to you. Some of you aren't interested in that, and that's totally fine. And some of you that are already in the program can just drop off the call at that point. But for those of you that I'll be explaining that. And I always have a little bonus that I give away for people who are on this call live or watch the replay. So I'm really excited about that. But we're going to start right now with the coaching tool. And the coaching tool is called the model. Okay. This is the greatest thing ever. I'm just going to tell you this right now. Already some people in the comments are already sharing. Kim said, I had my highest points ever last month in my business, all because of the thought coaching that I do inside of our community. Miranda says, join, you won't regret it. Either way, you guys, this tool is about to change everything for you. This is called the model. It's developed by Brooke Castillo, the creator of the Life Coach School. That is where I received my coaching certification through. I also have a bachelor's degree in elementary education, and I am a master network marketer in my company. I've worked in corporate America, in elementary schools. I've been a stay-at-home mom for almost 14 years now, and I run two very successful businesses in my network marketing company. My main business is in the top 20 in my network marketing company. And then I have a second business that I run within that same company that is almost to the very top of that company as well. And the model that Brooke Castillo developed is this. We have things that happen to us outside of us, and we call those things our circumstances. Anything happening outside of like the people in our lives, the weather, the things that people say, the president of the United States, the economy, our bank account, anything happening outside of us are our circumstances. This is anything that's factual, the really boring part of the story. The part of the story, this person said this thing. And then immediately following our circumstance, because we're humans, highly evolved creatures, we have our thoughts about it, right? And that is the meaning that we give those things happening outside of us or those facts about our lives. The thoughts are subjective, though. Thoughts are where we decide if this is a good thing that's happening to us or a bad thing, if it's dangerous, this is exciting. And thoughts are the part that we get to choose. The circumstances we don't always get to choose, right? Things that happen in the world, things that happen to us, things that happen to our children, things that happen around us, right? All of these things we don't get to control. When people behave a certain way, we don't get to control any of that. But we don't need to, because we have the ability to control our thinking about our circumstances. So thoughts are what we create all of our feelings with. Now, we tend to forget this, or we don't completely understand this until someone breaks it down in this way. We think our circumstances create our feelings, right? We even say this to our kids. We say, oh, don't say that to that girl. You might hurt her feelings if you say that, right? Or maybe you say this to people on your team. Well, I don't want to say this in my chat because I don't want to hurt my team's feelings, or I don't want to make her feel badly, right? But that girl's feelings are not hurt by what you say in your chat. And that girl at school that goes to school with your daughter is not hurt by what your daughter says. Her feelings are hurt when she thinks a thought about what your daughter says, okay? Because our thoughts create our feelings. Now, our feelings are just a sensation that we have in our body caused by our thought. And then our body releases chemicals and hormones, and we feel those. And our feelings are sort of our navigation system for life, okay? Our feelings are really, really useful, powerful gift that God has given us, because our feelings tell us to go this way, or no, don't go that way, or that could be dangerous. So our feelings help steer us toward our best life often. But if we don't know that our thinking is created by our feelings, then we want to make sure our thoughts are serving us. And we want to make sure that we're steering ourselves in the right direction, because we take action from our feelings. Our feelings fuel all of our actions. They drive us, right? Our feelings drive our actions. And like I said before, our feelings tell us which way to go, or which way to avoid, or what to focus or not to focus on. So the way we show up in the world, the people we are being in any given situation, the leaders we are, the parents we are, the wives, the husbands we are, whether or not we take tons of action or not take action, the kind of action we're taking, our tone, our eye contact, our body language, we're very complicated species of humans, and not just women, men too. And our actions are all driven by our feelings. Now, action is then what creates the results in our lives. So we are creating any result in our lives, and it's all originating with a thought. Every single result that we have is originating from a thought. So what I find and what I show my clients when we go through this is we just figure out what the problem is, because we as humans tend to think the problem is the circumstance. Like, oh, it's just my difficult upline. She's the problem. It's because my company doesn't have enough products. When I go to Christmas this week, it's going to be so hard to enjoy the evening because my mother-in-law is so difficult, right? These are things that you tell me. These are things my clients tell me all of the time, except the circumstance is never the reason for the result. It's always our thinking, our thoughts that are creating our result. So hopefully I explained this in a way that's simple enough for you to understand. What we're going to do now is really make it come to life with concrete examples, which I'm going to use your questions, your struggles or challenges or goals, and we're going to plug it into the model. And there's nothing that you can bring me that doesn't fit into the model. Nothing. I've never once had a client bring me something that I couldn't fit into the model. So that's what we're going to do. As we do that, I'm going to elaborate on a couple of things, okay? So let's see, you guys. You have some questions here. I'm just going to pull up the Q&A box, and I see some there. If you haven't found that yet, it's just on the bottom of your screen, and there's like two little chat box thingies, and you can just put your questions there. So the first question that I'm going to answer here is from Kim, and she says, I am a paper and pen gal. I have a team of about 30 plus customers. I make notes on our conversations, their orders, etc. How do you keep track of people when you have a team of thousands? Okay, so this one, first of all, this is an interesting question because first of all, she's assuming that I know the way, right, to run her team, right? This is Ask Emily. You can ask anything you want. And the way that I keep track of all of my questions, this one I'm probably not going to put in the model. I'm just going to give you the answer, Kim. We could put it in the model because I would normally turn this back around you and I would say, what are you using right now? What system are you using right now? Because whatever system you're using right now can be applied to 30 people or it could be applied to 30,000 people, right? I love paper and pen, but I have team members that use spreadsheets. I have team members that use systems that send out text messages through different companies. I have people that do nothing and send out emails. There's lots of different things that you can do. And so what I always tell people to do is just pick one thing, because a lot of times when when we have too much information and we feel like there's too many choices, we just do nothing. And then that doesn't help us, right? So I take care of people in the first month or two. I get them going on their products, make sure they have a successful time. And then once they are stable in their system and their regiment, then I tell them that they should reach out to me if they need more than that, right? So that is, I give them really weekly care for the first month or two. And then I let them know that I'm here for anything that they need and that they should reach out to me if they need anything. And then I'll do occasional emails and things like that. Okay. Anonymous attendee. How do you get a higher ranked person to show up and help you lead the team? I've asked a million different ways with no luck in several years. By higher rank, I mean she's outranked me, but doesn't show up to lead her team or even support them. So she's going on trips I don't earn while I'm the one working. Just too deep to fill in where I totally understand. Yes. She also doesn't bring new people onto the team. She just collects a paycheck. Okay. This is so good. This is absolutely perfect. Okay. So we're going to put this into the model. All right. Because the problem here is that she's not working, right? And she should be. So whoever anonymous attendee is, if you want to put into the comments in the main chat, or you could even put it in the Q&A here, but if you want to just put it in the chat, I'll be able to read it there as well. What I'm wondering is the circumstance is that she has someone on her team that has a certain amount of points, and we don't know how many points they are unless she tells us. So we're just going to make up something here just to show you what it would look like in the model. Okay. So, team member has 800 points. That would be our circumstance, right? See how it's really boring? Because the thing that I want to talk to you about is that the first thing that we do when we use the model is we separate the circumstances from the thoughts. So the circumstance would be that she has a particular rank or she has X amount of points, right? That's it. And all the other things that you told me in that, like she has a higher rank, she's outranked me, she doesn't show up to lead her team or even support them, she's going on trips I don't earn while I'm the one working, she collects a paycheck, she doesn't even bring people onto the team. All of those things you're telling me are just your thoughts about her and about the situation. The only factual information that we have, the only circumstance, we actually don't have a circumstance yet, because everything that you told me was just thoughts about her. And so it's just when we get so caught up in our thoughts like this, it automatically gives us feelings. And then that triggers that chemical hormone reaction inside of our body called a feeling. And then we probably feel overwhelmed or worried or defensive, right? Something like that is going to be going in your feeling line. So let me just walk it through again. So our circumstance is going to be, we could use her name. We could just say her name is, I don't know, Sally or something, like Sally is blank rank, or we could say Sally has 800 points or whatever it is, right? Whatever it is. And then we can just pick one thought that you have about her. And I'm going to just use this one right here, where it says, she doesn't show up to lead her team, right? That is one thought. So her rank is this, or her points are this. And then you think she doesn't show up to lead her team or even support them, right? That's our thought. And then you're probably going to have a feeling here that is something like frustrated, right? You're frustrated with her that she's not showing up and managing or running her team or even enrolling people, you know? So then you have this feeling of frustrated. And when you feel frustrated, what you start doing in your head is you start judging her, right? And we see this in all of your thoughts that you've given us. And this is why it's so fun, because everybody's brain does this. Like, this is the most perfect thing to bring to coaching ever, because we all do this, right? We start judging other people when we think they should be doing it differently, right? They're like, oh, she should be working. She should be enrolling, right? And then we become frustrated or defensive. And then our actions are, we are judging her. We are criticizing her. We are putting her down in our mind. We might even talk to others about it. Not saying that she didn't say that she does that here, but I'm just sort of giving you some examples here of what this might look like, or what this looks like for me when I do the same thing, because I do this too. I have a human brain just like you. Okay. So, and then we start comparing, right? I also see comparison in your action line. When you say that she doesn't bring new people, like she earns the trips and you don't, and you're the one doing the work, right? So we compare ourselves to her, and then we sort of judge ourselves in the process too, right? And then we almost like come across as a little bit entitled here. And it makes perfect sense why you would feel this way, because you're working so hard and she is in your thought line not working at all, right? That's what your thought is about her, is that she's not working, you're doing all the work, and you should be able to go on the trips or something like that, right? And so then she just collects the paycheck, right? And the most interesting thing about the model here is whatever your thought is, your result is going to be a direct reflection of you. And so the thought that we picked is that she doesn't show up to lead her team or even support them, right? And your result every time that you think that thought is, I don't show up as me, or I don't lead my team, or I don't like myself as a leader. And the reason why the reason why we know these results are true is that your behavior when you felt frustrated was comparing myself to her, right? Ruminating in your head, like judging her, criticizing her. And it makes total sense. And none of us are judging you for this. We're all like, oh my gosh, another real human being. I do this too, because we all do this, right? And so we know that because your actions are those things, that your result is always going to be, I don't show up as my best self, because all you're doing is you're taking all of your energy and you're thinking about her. You're consumed by what she is not doing and what she should be doing, rather than taking more action, because you already said you're working and you're doing all these things, but you could be freeing up more space in your mind and in your heart and in your energy to stop worrying about her. Because here's the thing, this girl on your team, she's just your circumstance, and all these other things, in fact, even your result that you're not showing up in your most potential, is all being created by you and what you're thinking about her, that she's not working and she should be. And anytime that you choose that thought, right? Any thought really, but anytime that you choose that thought of she's not working and she should be, or she's not working in the way that I think she should be, or whatever it is, it's just triggering that chemical and that hormone reaction in your body. And it's causing that feeling of frustration, or it might be causing a feeling of judgment or criticism, or, any of those things. And so you probably feel, that frustrated feeling, or maybe even betrayal or sadness or anything like that. But something like that is going to be your feeling. And so So how you behave when you feel frustrated is what is creating your result, right? So the result is that you're basically finding lots of evidence about how she's not doing it the way that she should be. So what should you do, right? Like, how can you set a boundary? And that's where we think we need to get a hold of, right? Like, you should do this and you should say this, but you should, like, a lot of times when clients will come to me, they'll say things like, what do I say to this girl? How do I motivate this girl on my team? How can I get her to do what I want her to do, right? But before we work on, boundaries or things like this, what I want you to know is you can totally handle this, right? Like, this is sort of adult stuff where we have to deal with different personalities, right? In network marketing, it can be tricky because we're working with our friends and our family sometimes. I love it when I get to work with strangers because then I don't have any thoughts about them yet, right? And I can just talk to them without thinking about them first, right? But what I want you to know is that if you think that she should be working and she's not working in the way that you want her to work, a lot of times what's going to happen is you're not going to show up and do the work. And then you're not going to grow in the way that you could grow. Okay? Because that when your actions are correct, when your actions are growing your team, like, what we want in your action line is for you to be sending messages, following up. And I know you're probably doing that already in other ways, but not when you're thinking about her and how she should be doing it, right? So the biggest thing that I want to empower you with today is that instead of thinking that she should be working and it's not fair that she's earning the trips and you're not earning the trips, what I want to offer you is that instead of thinking all about her and how she should be doing it a different way, what you could do instead is you could choose a different thought. For example, one that really helps me is this idea of just like me, right? And this is one I have notes on my phone all of the time that I get out, and this helps me a ton. And I actually did a post about this on my Instagram. If you follow my coaching Instagram, it's Emily Gibson Coaching. And it's really interesting because I wrote this post about just like me, right? Because I was struggling with someone in my business and I couldn't think anything other than, I don't like her. She's doing it wrong. She's so annoying. I don't want to be around her. She's driving me nuts. And I couldn't just believe the opposite of that, right? Because sometimes people are like, oh, I shouldn't be thinking that. I should be thinking, no, we can't be angry because we don't like her, right? We can't just go like, you're right. She shouldn't be working. She should be winning all the trips and I'm doing all the work. You're right. Like, that's never going to work because your brain is too smart. And so your brain is going to be like, liar, you're so full of crap, right? Because your brain is going to be onto you. So we can't just like flip our thoughts all the time. And if you've tried to do that before and it hasn't worked, that's why. It's because you have a highly intelligent prefrontal cortex that knows when you're lying to it, right? It's why we can't just, when we're feeling really down and depressed, we can't be like, okay, I'm happy. I'm so happy. Everything's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Your brain's like, everything's not fine. The world is falling, right? So this is a thought that you can replace. And this is going to literally open up your mind in a huge way. Okay. So when you're dealing with a difficult upline or a difficult person on your team or someone that you cannot think anything other than they're not doing it the right way. It could even be your spouse or your mother-in-law or your sister-in-law or someone you have to work with at church or something like that. This is what I say to myself. I say, she is totally right and I am totally right. She is totally wrong and I am totally wrong. She is a woman in the world who wants to help people just like me. She has fears and insecurities just like me. She feels strongly about her methods just like me. She is really wise and knowledgeable and has a lot of training and education, just like me. She has a lot of things that she doesn't understand, just like me. When she thinks someone is harming people, she can get really riled up, just like me. It's okay. We don't have to get upset about this. We don't even have to be mad about this. Brain, you can just calm down. It's okay. I've got me, right? And so when you start to think about this girl on your team that is not working and winning the trips, even though you're doing all the work, you can literally say to yourself, yeah, she is just, there's a lot of things that she doesn't understand. There's a lot of things that I don't understand, just like me. We're more alike than we are different. And when you do this with your brain, it's going to fight you a little bit. Like it's not as easy as it sounds, right? Your brain is going to just like push back on you a little bit. It's going to be like, no, she should be working. And you can say, I know. And sometimes, things don't make sense. Sometimes things in the world don't make sense. And she's not doing this, and I am, and she's just a woman in the world just like me. And it's going to give you this moment where the weight is going to lift from your shoulders temporarily. And the more and more that you do this, the more and more that you give yourself these alternative thoughts that you can start choosing to think in your head, the more you're going to have different feelings to take different action from that will change your result. Okay. All right, I'm going to pick another one. Holly says, I've lost my personal motivation. Our upline does not seem to work. See, it's all the uplines that don't work. They're just your circumstance, you guys. Your upline that doesn't work is just your circumstance. And then you have a thought about it that she should be. And then you have a feeling, and then you take action from that feeling, which is usually just ruminating on how much she's bugging you and how much you don't like her and how criticizing her and judging her. And then in the end, you hurt yourself. Like your result is oftentimes, I hurt me, or I don't trust me, or I don't show up as my own self, right? And it doesn't matter what we put in the model. I promise you, if you're thinking that your upline is the problem, you're also thinking your husband is the problem in your marriage, or that your pastor is the problem in your church, or whatever. Like, they are always just your circumstance, and you create everything else that's happening in your life with your thoughts, all of it, which is the best news ever. Because if it was actually them that was causing all the problems, we can't control them, and that would be the worst thing ever. But it's the best news ever that they are just a circumstance, and that you're creating all of this unnecessary pain and suffering with your thoughts, because you can fix your thoughts. You can change your thoughts, right? So, she says, we have no direction. Even though I know what I need to do, I'm bitter that we have no support. Help. This is so good, Holly. Oh my gosh, I love this. Okay, Holly, so perfect. So Holly says that she, I know what I need to do, but I'm bitter and I have no support, right? So let's just take circumstance is upline. Right? We're just going to say upline, and Holly knows what her name is. We don't have to say her name or anything like that, but we can just say upline. And then her thought is that we have no support. That's her thought. We have no support. And then her feeling is bitterness. And when she feels bitter, what does she do? Right? Holly, if you can tell us in the comments, what do you do when you feel bitter, thinking that you have no support? Right? She says, I shut down. What does that look like, Holly? What does it look like to shut down? Like, what goes on in your head when you're shut down? What do you avoid? What do you do instead? You stop working. So what are you doing instead of working? Right? Are we like watching Netflix? Are we cleaning our kitchen? Are we unloading the dishwasher? Are we taking our dog for a walk? Are we scrolling social media? Right? All these things are actions, right? We say, oh, I do nothing. You're never not doing nothing. Even when you're sleeping, you're dreaming. Even if you don't remember your dreams, there's still things going on in your brain, right? So when scrolling, all unproductive things, right? See, you're judging yourself too, because you're like, yeah, this is so unproductive, right? We're judging ourselves, we're shaming ourselves. We're putting ourselves down. We are judging our upline. My guess is that you're probably talking with other people on your team. You're sort of like commiserating together. You're like, oh my gosh, this is just so annoying. And and then there's probably some victimization happening here, right? Like if we had a more supportive upline, we could be better at this. Like she's the problem, not us. No, it's your thoughts that are the problem. You're the one creating all of it. And your result of thinking, we have no support is I don't support me. That's your result. I don't support me is your result. And it has nothing to do with your upline. It's all being created by this thought that you have no support. And then in the end, you're not supporting yourself. The model it's the most amazing. Yeah, she says, agreed. She agrees, right? Yeah. And so why do we keep choosing to believe that we have no support? Right? We can first have compassion to ourselves. Of course we feel this way. It makes perfect sense that we feel this way, right? Because we have this need, this like, we want to be a child and we want to, we want our parents to like show us how to do everything. And then we want to blame them if something goes wrong. It makes total sense that you would feel this way. And we all do this. I do this too, Holly. Like I do the same thing. So I totally get it. Okay. It's just, we all have this human brain that we just keep carrying around with us everywhere we go. Right. And so when you have these thoughts, I just want you to know you're creating all the drama with your thoughts because your upline is just your circumstance. And so you can change your thought, you can change what you believe. And the way you do this is you start to become curious about it, right? And you ask yourself questions like, well, why do I even need support? Maybe like, how could having no supportive upline actually be the best thing ever for your business? How can having no support, no events, no shout outs, no anything, how could this literally be the best thing that ever happened to your business? How could it be the one thing that actually gives you success and pushes you harder than if you had someone doing it all for you? That's where we want to focus on, right? Like that's where all the power is going to be. Okay. So the way to get out of this, right? Yes, it makes you responsible and you own it, right? It's awareness for what you're doing and then finding a way to do it, right? So if you want to keep thinking that your upline is the problem, your brain is just going to find evidence to prove that your thoughts are true. And you're going to create whatever you're thinking. So when you think like she's not supportive, your result every time is going to be, I don't support myself. And what we want in your result line that would probably change your business for the better is I support me, whether I have a supportive upline or not, right? So we can choose a thought like, I create my direction. Like when you think the thought, I create my direction or I support me, it gives us this totally different feeling, right? And so some of you are sitting here and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm like finally having awareness of my thoughts for the first time ever. And I don't want to think this way. How do I get out of this? Right. And the way you get out of this, those of you in my Beyond the Rank program know this. As soon as we identify your model, a lot of times you're like, oh my gosh, you're right. I see it. What's a different model? How can I get out of this? What's a different thought I can have? But you have to be willing to really examine yourself in your current model. And you understand it intellectually the way that I outline it for you on paper, but part of your brain will still believe that the thought that she's not a supportive upline and that she should be, or that someone else is winning and you're not, right? Your brain will want to slip back there. So finding a new thought is powerful, but it will slip back into the old thought a few times, and you'll have to sort of redirect it to the new one. So that's what we have to do, is we have to recognize that the circumstance is totally neutral. Like your upline is just neutral. Like you could take her or leave her. It wouldn't even matter. She could come or go and it wouldn't even affect your business. Right. And so you can think someone else is better than you, or you can think that your business is better than someone else's. And I don't think that that's your next best thought, but I want to push your brain a little bit to show you that it's an option, because it could be true that it's not better to have a supportive upline. But I think that where you're going to get the most leverage and the most power over this is to stop making it about how she should be or shouldn't be, how she should be supportive or not supportive. Because what if you believed that there is no such thing as a supportive upline? There's just someone that you sign up under, and it's just human beings having human emotions with experiences that trigger thoughts for us to cause us to all have these experiences. And there's no such thing as anyone having a more supportive upline than another, right? And when you say something like, she's not supportive, what if it was impossible to succeed with a supportive upline? What if you decide to believe that having no support is the exactly right thing for you, and that it's the only way that you're going to succeed? If you believe that, and that you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, you'd feel more confident, more appreciative, more gratitude, more love, more abundance. And do you want to know what your action line would look like if you were feeling all those things? Right? You will have you'll take action from a totally different place, right? So I want you to keep your upline is still just her name, right? And then I want you to offer a thought that could be like, I create my own support, right? And all of these other things that people are doing and that are possible, you're going to believe that you don't even need her help anymore. And when you take action from confidence and you take action from love, what's going to show up is you're going to host your own events. You're going to get your people to show up to them. You're going to create what you really want. And then your result is going to be, I show up and I create my own support, right? Now, we can't change our past, but we can give it all back to the people we've accepted it from, and we can give ourselves compassion. And we can take our power back, because right now you're giving all of your power away to your upline, right? And I want you to move forward in curiosity about yourself, because that is what is going to totally change your life forever. And it's going to change your result, right? And so some of you want to hear about Beyond the Rank, and I want to make sure to answer your questions before you have to go. I'll come back and answer more questions after I tell you about Beyond the Rank. But I first want you guys to hear about the program before you have to go. So I created this program for your brain. And one of my friends that's actually a member in my program messaged me over the weekend, and she said, your program is like the gym for my mind. I have a gym membership where I go for my physical health, and then I have your program where I go for my mental and emotional health. And I said to her, I'm so glad to hear that, because that's why I created this, right? And that is why I wanted it to be like a gym for your thoughts and your emotions, because most people don't do anything to strengthen their brain or their emotional life. They don't do anything to maintain it. And, they haven't had the tools in the past, right? Like we had therapy or counseling, which is amazing when you have a problem emotionally or mentally, but it's not for the everyday average human to just be dealing with life. And none of us think, well, I don't need to think about my health unless I'm really sick and go to the doctor, right? Like we know I need to think about the food I'm putting in my body, and I might want to exercise and move it every now and then. And then, that's going to help me strengthen and be healthier physically, even though I'm not ill to begin with. And that's what's true about your mental and emotional life as well. So I want to have, and if it's not this program, I want you to find something that will maintain and strengthen your mental and emotional health. Now, this one is pretty awesome. I've got to tell you, you can read the comments, that people are saying here in our chat, or you can read the comments on my website, emilygibsoncoaching.com. And it's just an amazing program, right? And in Beyond the Rank, we focus on the 5 pillars. And when I say focus, I just mean I teach you tons of content on each area. And we can coach on any area, but they all sort of fit into these 5 areas. Right? Relationships, confidence, health, money, and contribution. And I do happen to be a master network marketer with a top 20 business that I'm actively building with my company. And I have a strong influence in Christian values. So we do a lot of clients in my program that are also in network marketing with Christian values. But we also have members who aren't in network marketing at all and who aren't Christian at all. So you don't have to be. But if you are in network marketing and you do have Christian values and and you want someone that understands that and how network marketing affects your marriage and your family relationships and your friendships and all these sorts of things, I get it. And if you want someone who has done it before, right? Like you want someone who's actually done network marketing before, not just trains on how to do it, but is in it currently now in the trenches with you, that's me. And the next thing is confidence. Most people don't know how to build confidence. They think some people are confident and some people are not, and that's just not true at all. Confidence is something that you have to nurture and develop. And I teach you how to do that in Beyond the Rank. In fact, I teach a monthly workshop the first Friday of every single month. And our workshop in January is how to develop confidence, not ego. There's a big difference. And we all have egos, all of us. Some of us have bigger egos than others. Some of our uplines have bigger egos than others. Some of our downline have bigger egos than others, right? And so I'm going to teach you in one webinar in January how to develop confidence, and it is going to change your life forever. If all you did was join my program just to hear this one hour webinar on how to be more confident, it would be worth the price of your membership. Okay. The third pillar is health. Because we always want to have like physical and mental and emotional health. And that is what this is going to be for you. The fourth pillar is money, right? Whether you want to be better with money, not have anxiety about your money, or you want to stop waking up stressed about money, thinking there's not enough money, worrying about money, or you want to make more money, or you want to have lots of more money in your life, whatever is not working in your life, that's not working about money, that plays a huge role in your life. And so I love helping people with their money. The last area is what I call contribution. And this looks different for different people, but as a human beings, we have a basic need to contribute in the world, to feel like we're part of something bigger than us, and to feel like we're being challenged in certain ways and growing in certain ways. And if you don't have that, you're going to feel a void in your life. So that can look like raising kids, a job, a hobby, a blog, a business that you're starting, lots of different things that can look like, but we have to make sure we're meeting that need for you. Now, what is this all entailing, right? Like, what does it look like inside of the community? Okay, so this is an online program, and I'm always right here in my home office in Draper, Utah, right? Jaja says, I've been participating in this program since Emily has been sharing about the model. I have such different, more connected relationships, from my friends to my kids to my husband. I find myself changing my thoughts as I think them. This is such a needed investment. I'm so happy for you, Jaja. Thank you for sharing that with us. So I'm here in my office in Draper, Utah. Sometimes my dog is sitting in here with me, but that's about it. My door is always closed. I'm always going to be here coaching you, and we're going to be wherever you are, all over the world, whether you're in New Zealand or Australia or Canada or here in the United States. And thanks to technology, it doesn't matter where you live. You can participate in this anywhere. And the nice thing about it being online is that you can be visible or not visible, as much as you want to be or not. I have some people that love to come on and get coached a lot, and I get to know them. And I have others that they want to stay hidden behind the scenes. And you can do all of that and still make tons of progress, even if you want to stay a little bit quieter. What we do in Beyond the Rank, if you have been listening to the podcast, or if you haven't and you just like what I'm teaching here today, you can go check it out. It's called Beyond the Rank, and it's anywhere you listen to podcasts. But we take what you hear on the podcast or what you've heard on this webinar today, and we apply it, and you will get 10 times the results. Amanda says, this coaching is life-changing. You won't regret being part of this community. Listening to the podcast, listening to this webinar today, I hope it's helping you, but I'm telling you that it's only 20% that's available. We can take you the other 80% of the way when you come into the Beyond the Rank community and start applying it. And one of the things that we do is lots of live calls. Now, I say lots of calls because we offer lots, but you don't have to come to all of them. Just like when you join the gym, you don't look at the class schedule and think, dang, how am I going to get to all these classes that the gym is offering? No, you just look at the little schedule and you think, okay, I'm going to go to these 2 or 3 classes this week, or maybe you just go to one class and then you work out on the treadmill the other days or whatever. We usually do 4 to 5 three to five classes a week, and you can come to them live or you can watch the replays. You'll have a member login section. It is not on Facebook. Yes, this program is ADHD friendly because I have actual diagnosed ADHD, and I wanted to create something that even the busiest of people could benefit from. I wanted something that you were not going to feel behind in, because who needs another thing to feel behind in? You are not going to consume everything that I'm offering to you, right? We have a member only private podcast. So you can download the private member only podcast and you can listen to all of the calls on the podcast app or on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. Again, this member only podcast is how you can participate in the program listening on the go. I made this for the busiest of people who don't have time to sit around and watch replays of Zooms or don't like watching replays or always feel behind. Of course, if you love watching replays, you'll have that option in your content section, in your member login section. It says little or as much as you'd like. There's lots of different options available to you. Every month I give you this class where we do a workshop, like I just said, where you're going to be able to go into an in-depth topic. In November, I taught on abundance. You'll have access to that workshop if you'd like when you join today. In December, I taught about how to stop people pleasing. That one was so life-changing. And then in January, I'm going to be teaching, like I said, on how to develop confidence, not ego, right? So we're going to be going very in depth on that topic of confidence all month long. You get the class, you get a Q&A call with me every Friday about it. You get a worksheet if you like worksheets. If you don't like worksheets, you don't have to use the worksheet. You can just come to the class or you can just listen to it. I love to listen to coaching while I exercise every single day. You get live coaching calls with me every single week. I coach between 10 to 15 people a week on group Zooms. If you're in the program, you can come to any or all of those calls. And like I said, you can watch or listen to them on the replay. If you don't want to get coached, that's fine, but listen to coaching, because when you listen to other people get coached, like you heard me even just coach the two women today on their uplines, right? Like even just hearing me coach on them, and they didn't even bring them on live, but hearing me coach them, you felt like you got coached today. That's how amazing this is, right? So Jay just says the private podcast is the best. Feeding the cows or the horses. She's mowing the pasture. She listens to the podcast. She's waiting in the car ride line. She listens to the podcast. Yes, that's why I did it, right? So if you don't want to get coached though, that's fine, because listening to it, you're going to get just as much out of it. I'm telling you, you guys, like listening to other people get coached is life-changing. And then you can always get coached one-on-one with me as well. So either way, listen to coaching or get coached every week. And then every single Friday, we have an Ask Emily call. I think I was supposed to turn the page, you guys. Look, anyway, I'm so good, you guys. So, we have our Ask Emily call every single Friday that you can come to, and you can pick my brain. Any business question, you can pick my brain. You can get coached, or I can just give you the answers. It's just sort of like the, how do I do it, Emily, right? You have direct access to me once a week for 1 hour. Anyone can get on those calls. You can even email me questions if you can't make the call, and I can answer them live for you. We always post the replays within 24 hours, so you can listen on the go. And a lot of people tell me they listen while they're working out, doing laundry, running carpool. Obviously, JJ listens while she's feeding the cows or the horses, right? And when you join Beyond the Rank, you're going to get access to 4 additional courses under our content section on what the problem is with your thoughts, how to fix them, the model, how to process emotions. People tell me that if all they did was watch those 4 short little 10-minute courses, that it was worth their month's financial contribution, right? So just to give you some perspective, I know that some people don't share their numbers about how much things cost or how much they make or anything like that. But I hate how there's so many network marketing people offering business advice that have never had a successful network marketing business. It literally drives me batty. We made $1.2 million in my network marketing business in 2020, and we are on pace this year to surpass that. So I know a lot about network marketing, and I didn't know it before. I learned it as I figured out how to do my network marketing, getting to the top of my company. It won't be as hard for you as it was for me, though, because you have me. And if you have a business and you want to grow it and you want to be successful, I teach you all the basics of how to get to the top of your company. And then you have that weekly Ask Emily call where you have direct access to me to ask me anything about what's going on in your business. And I will give you the how-to direct advice live and in real time. So I want to give you the financial breakdown of how much all of those things would cost if I sold them individually, which I don't, by the way. But if I did, this is how much each of these things would cost, right? So my live workshop that I do on the first Friday of every single month, that would normally cost $197. If I were going to go and I were going to teach a class, that would cost $197, right? And then that Ask Emily live coaching from or even just a live coaching group call, if you were going to be in a member program, what most coaches charge and what I have charged in the past, what people have paid me in the past for a group coaching session is $700 a month to be in a group coaching session with me, right? Access to my Ask Emily calls just once a week would be another $700 a month. My foundational series class would be $200 to get access to that. 12-month private coaching to grow your business to the top of any network marketing company. I would charge you a $5,000 upfront investment and a $1,000 monthly retainer with a minimum 12-month contract for 45 minutes with me a week, right? You're literally getting 75 minutes a day with me all month long, 5 days a week. All right. So this is what companies have currently paid me and contract with me to work with them and private clients. And when I've worked with my private clients in the past, this is what they pay me for my knowledge and expertise. All right. So that's like almost $3,000 a month that they would be paying me to get everything that you get for, can you guys see this? For $59 a month. You are going to pay $59 a month to get all of this from me that would normally cost $3,000 to work with me in this way. And I don't sell these things separately anymore. I used to, but I decided I just want to offer this to everyone at a super affordable price. And that is $59. That's what I decided. I thought $59 would be the perfect price because that is going to be able to be something that even someone who's just starting their network marketing business could afford, right? That's why I priced it this way, because I want it to be affordable to a lot of people. I want it to be accessible to anyone, but I wanted it to be enough that it's an investment that you'll take seriously, right? I wanted to find the balance of like, hey, I'm paying good money for this. I'm going to show up and I'm going to do the work and I'm going to get the most out of it. And yet it's still going to be accessible. I don't want to charge you $9 for this. I don't want to charge you $20 for this because I know you're not going to show up for that amount of money. But when you pay $59, I know you're going to show up for you because it's just enough money to get you to take action. And the only thing I'm interested in doing is getting you results. And I know that for this price and with all of these things, you're going to get results. I guarantee it. All you have to do is come to one call and your whole business is going to change. And you can see all the people in the comments that are shouting that out, right? Okay. So option one, there's two options that you can do. Option one is $59 per month and you can cancel at any time. You're going to put your card number in and it will, and you just go to my website, emilygibsoncoaching.com/shop. The doors are open right now. You can just go sign up right now. So you're going to put your card in, you're going to pay $59 today. And I also have a coupon for you. So if you want $10 off because you came to this webinar and you stayed till the very end, you can type in the code GIFT10. I'll put it in the comments here. Just going to type it in, GIFT10. And GIFT10 is going to take off. Instead of $59, you're going to pay $49 forever if you type in that coupon today at checkout and you sign up today. forever. You can also apply it to the annual membership, and you're going to get it. You're going to get a month free automatically. And then you're going to get another $10 off, right? So the coupon is amazing, and you get it for being here live on this call today. So you can cancel at any time. There's a simple button you push and it's very easy. And this is when you do the $59 a month, this is paying from month to month. Okay. And you can stay as little or as long as you want to. We're not going to hunt you down if you cancel. We're not even going to send you an email. It's just, we will miss you so much. We will, but we understand that life happens and things come up. We hope you'll stay with us forever, but we understand like you have some other things sometimes. Option 2 is $649 per year. Normally it's $708, but I give you 1 month instantly free when you buy the annual pass. This also comes with 2 free events and a goodie bag. That is the coolest goodie bag you've ever seen. It's so amazing. You get all these amazing, awesome things. You get like 5 different fun things that'll feel like Christmas, and we'll mail that out to you right away. I just need your address. So I'll email you when you sign up with the $649 membership. I'll email you later today to get your address from you. And then we'll send your goodie box out like tomorrow. It'll be so fun. And then also the first 2 people that sign up with the annual pass today, I'm going to give you just the first 2 people that get the annual pass today. I'm going to send you my favorite planner. Everyone's always like, what favorite planner do you have? Well, I bought 2 of them. And I'm going to mail you this in addition to your goodie box if you go ahead and sign up. Or you could, if you're a current member and Beyond the Rank, you can upgrade to the annual pass. You just have to be the first 2. So I'll go in and look at my account and I'll see who the first 2 of you were, and I'll ship these out. And it's a 2022 planner, the ones that I like the very best. So that it's going to come with, if you are the first 2 people that go ahead and take the fast action to sign up for the year membership. Okay. So the 2 events that come for free is when you've been a member in Beyond the Rank for 6 months, you've had your subscription membership on for 6 months, you get a free event with me here in Provo, Utah. And it's by invitation only. You have to have a subscription of your membership on for 6 months or more in order to be invited to that event, but it's totally free. You just pay for your travel and you pay for your food, but the event is an all-day event with me, and we're going to have the best day ever. It's so fun. We have some special guests and some music numbers and some really fun things here in Utah. And so that's happening July 29th, and you'll get an invitation to that when you've been with us for 6 months or more. Or if you just buy the annual pass, you're automatically an elite member, which normally you would be 12 months on. But if you just buy it, then you just get invited to that event. And then I also have another event. I've never done these before, but I'm so excited about them, and you're just not going to want to miss out on them. So the VIP exclusive event, July 29th in Provo, Utah. It's invite only. You have to be an annual pass holder or be on subscription in Beyond the Rank for 6 months or more, and you get a free ticket to that. And then if you are an elite member, that year pass, you also are going to get Beyond the Rank live event for free in 2023. That would normally cost, I'm going to sell tickets to that one in 2023, and that'll be $199 for the day. But if you can't attend in person, we'll be recording for our VIP and elite members to watch on replay. So you can just pay for your travel, hotel, and the event itself is free, comes with your membership. We just spend the entire day together, and you're going to be on your own for lunch and things like that, but it's going to be so much fun, and you're totally going to miss out if you don't come. So you can either do that event by just staying on subscription, $59 every month, $49 if you put the code in gift10, or you can just hit the annual pass and you'll just automatically get an invitation from me in the mail this week. So I would recommend option 2 if it fits into your budget, because I never teach the same course twice. And I really recommend that you stay in this program for a year. It's a tremendous amount of time to be able to rewire your brain. Some of the things you've been believing and the stories you've been telling and your habits and thinking and feeling you've had for a really long time. So it's going to take some time to rewire some of them. And a year is a good amount of time to see some progress. So if you want to join me, you can go right now, and I have that $10 off coupon gift10 for your first month, and it will apply to every month thereafter, which I'm so happy to offer for you guys. That coupon only lasts through tonight. It's going to expire at midnight tonight. So you have to use the coupon tonight. It will take you to the page where you can sign up. You can enter in the coupon gift 10. If you already signed up, you can just email me, Leslie. That's no problem. And I'll just Venmo you the $10. It's no big deal. So you'll need to use this by tonight at midnight to get the exclusive discount. Leslie, email me hello@emilygibsoncoaching.com, and you can just tell me you forgot to enter in the coupon and I will send it to you. No problem. So no problem. Yes. Yes. Yep. So now I want to talk a little bit about private coaching. It is available only inside of my member community. If you've ever wanted 45 minutes alone with me, with just totally private, you and me on Zoom, not in front of a group or anything, you can also sign up for an additional $141 inside of the community. I don't think I have it written on here actually. But for an extra $141 in addition to your $59 membership, you will get, you can sign up for 45-minute private sessions with me if that's something that you want. This is something that people sometimes like when they want to talk about something that they don't want to work through in front of a group. Like if you have a sensitive thing about someone on your team and they're in the program with you, or if you are really high up in your company and you just don't want to talk about something in front of a group. That's why I have this, because I understand that, again, because I am in network marketing. I totally get some things are just private and you can't talk about them in front of other people. But I also want to tell you that you don't have to have the private coaching for it to work, right? I just want to encourage you to come into the program, watch the orientation videos, get started with us, come to the new member call and the monthly workshop, and then one coaching call a week, and it will totally transform your life. And so don't feel like you have to do the private coaching or anything. It's just there for some people that want to have a little bit more privacy about certain issues. But for the most part, people don't even need that. The $59 a month is just plenty. And if you know that you're committed to making 2022 your best year yet, I would just encourage you to get the $649, because you're automatically saving, you're getting a month for free, and it's going to make it so much easier for you than it ever was for me. And if you're ready to go, just go ahead and sign up now, or you can stay here with me and I'll answer just one more question for the next couple of minutes. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I feel so alone in this business, but I believe in it so much. I feel that a lot of my struggles, challenges in business and motherhood, life I face is because of my ADHD, which I've recently been learning and better understanding. I feel all over the place. I have no system in place to make me feel like a better, stronger leader. I want to be able to show up as my best self, regardless of my circumstances. I feel so inconsistent, so ready for my next drink. I love this so much. This is so good. Okay. So your circumstance here, I'm going to pull this back here, you guys. I hope that's okay. Just going to pull up the model page for us again. Okay. So the model again, can you guys see that okay? Okay. So the model here, you just told me all your thoughts about yourself. The actual only thing that we could put in the circumstance line, and it's only if you've had an actual diagnosis, would be, I am diagnosed with ADHD. But if you've never been diagnosed with that, we can't even put it in the circumstance line. Okay. So we want to make sure that we have an actual fact that we're putting in our circumstance line here, which is most likely I have ADHD. And then you have all these thoughts about how it's affecting your business. Like, for example, your thought, I feel so alone, right? And then anytime you think I am alone in your business, you're going to create, I isolate myself, right? With your thoughts and your feelings and your actions. Other thoughts that you have were, everything that I face in my business, motherhood, and life is because of my ADHD. That's just a thought that you're having. That's all. It's literally just a thought, and it's not even true. It's all made up. And the reason why I can tell you that with assurance is because I have diagnosed ADHD, and I know that I created all that same story in my life too. And my oldest son and my youngest son both have diagnosed ADHD as well. And they always tell me that same thing. So it makes so much sense that you would say that. But what I want to let you know is that when you say that, you're giving all of your power away to ADHD. And I want to help you take all your power back. because you're so powerful. And honestly, people with ADHD, it's literally the most incredible brain ever. Like, I want you to think about your ADHD brain like a Ferrari on the freeway, right? Like there's like the Honda Civic, there's the Ford Taurus, there's the Geo Metro, then there's like, the Honda Odyssey and the BMW and the Lexus, and then there's the Ferrari. And the ADHD brain that you have is the Ferrari, except it has bicycle brakes. That's all. You are the Ferrari on the freeway. Your brain operates at super speed that other cars can't even perform at, except your Ferrari has bicycle brakes. And so when you try to step on the gas, when you try to step on the brakes, it doesn't work, right? And so right now, you're like, have this story about how it's holding you back. And what I will teach you inside of Beyond the Rank, when you get coached by me, or if you ever, if anyone else ever gets coached on this from me, is I will show you how we can take all your power back with thoughts like I want to help you get really curious on how having a brain with ADHD is going to make you more successful than if you didn't have it. How it's literally the key that unlocks the door to all of your greatest potential, and that you're going to operate on a level higher than other people could even dream of. That's what ADHD truly is. And it's not to say that it's better than someone else, because that's not what I'm talking about here. But what I'm talking about here is that you have the potential to create even better systems than if you didn't have ADHD. I have better systems than most people that I know because of my ADHD brain. I am so much more organized, and so because I have to be, right? I have to use my prefrontal cortex ahead of time to get organized, because if I don't, then my ADHD takes over and I give away all my power to it and I get nothing done, right? So that's what I want to help you to see, is that all these thoughts that your ADHD is keeping you from success, that's just a made up story. And when you choose those thoughts, it's probably making you feel really helpless, right? It's probably making you feel like a victim, right? And so in your action line, you're victimizing yourself. You are ruminating on how if you didn't have this ADHD, that you would be so much more successful. You would be you'd be further ahead. You'd have a higher rank. You'd be doing so much more. And those actions are giving you this result, of I don't meet my potential, or I hurt me, or something like I isolate myself, or something like that. And so we can fix all of it with the model. And I hope that you sign up, because this is going to change your life forever. And it's going to show you how to show up in the world, and the world needs you, and it needs you and your ADHD. And I'm so passionate about this. I'm so grateful to know the things that I know about this. So you guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. It's so nice to be with you here today. Thanks for allowing me to share my heart and the things that I know. And I'm just so excited, whether you join or not, whether you just start listening to the podcast or you get on our email list. Either way, thank you so much for being here with me today, and Merry Christmas. Love you guys. Bye.